Hey, just like the Bahamas, huh? Hey, great job. Proud of you guys. Make sure you have your cell phones. We'll let you know, when we're playing. All right? Make sure you take care of yourselves. If you're nicked up, let's get taken care of. We get ourselves back in there and get ready to go. How beautiful is this, man? How about those? Jeez. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Hey, for real, take care of your body this weekend. Make sure you're ready to go next week. We ain't done. So, Chiefs on three. 1, 2, 3. Chiefs.
Welcome back into the NFL Report. James Palmer, Steve Weitz with you, and we have all-pro, Steve, all-pro quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Trent McDuffie. Trent, I got to ask you to start off with this right here. What do you feel like the slot corner spot actually getting this recognition in the all-pro situation? Because on this show, we talk about slot corners being one of the most valuable positions in all of football.
Yeah, kind of like you said, I feel like this slot cornerback position is definitely one that I feel like is starting to get more recognition because, you look at that, we do so much. We got to blitz. They want us to play the run game. We got to go cover the wide receivers, tight ends. They expect a lot out of us. So just getting that recognition, I always say, is a big blessing. And I think just goes to show just how much I've been able to help out this team and this defense.
Well, Trent, congrats on that. And this week, your role, as we saw the first time you played them, is highly valuable because we know how they like to work the middle of the field with their tight ends to kind of slip Cook out there in coverage, but to also keep an eye on Josh Allen in the run game. And you guys bottled him up the first time you played. How much, or I'll put it this way, what is it like preparing knowing that he can slip out in the run game and you always have to have eyes on him while also protecting your duties in the passing game?
Right, yeah. Whenever you play a quarterback that can throw it, run it, Josh Allen's one of those guys that can just do it all. It always adds just a little more dynamic challenge for the defense because, like you said, we can't just, as a defender, I can't just play my man and not worry about what the quarterback's going to do. And he's also just extending plays, which on the back end, we always talk about this plaster and just outworking the receivers. And, he's one of those guys that can just pose a problem on all downs, all field distances, and one of those guys that at all times you got to know where he's at. So I feel like he does a really good job at getting the ball out to receivers and, like you said, using his tight ends really well. And they've been efficient, especially after playing us. They've gone on a little run. So we know the advantages and disadvantages that they're going to bring to the game, and we're preparing for those.
Trent, with that said, you guys are so versatile, specifically in the secondary, too, that you can move guys, play in different spots, and you can give so many different looks. With what you're saying about what Josh does in the run game, I don't give anything away, but you have the ability to have somebody spy him probably, and then that person can change spots. What is the advantage when you have to go against a guy that is dynamic in multiple ways like Josh Allen is, but you guys have the ability to have so many guys play different spots that you can kind of try to confuse him at the same time?
Yeah, I think that's huge what you said. I feel like we have a group of players on this team that can really do it all. You got guys like me, LJ, Shamari Connor, who all play 3 different positions. Jay Reed comes down at dime, at safety. You got Willie Gay playing multiple positions. This defense is very unique in a way that everybody can do a little bit of everything. And when you play a quarterback like this, being able to throw off his timing with his receivers, being able to confuse him pre-snap is huge because when you just give them one look, a lot of these quarterbacks, they know where the ball wants to go. And a guy like Josh Allen, if you just sit everybody out wide and play man, he's ready to take off at any point. So Spags definitely does a great job at giving different disguises, different looks, and making a lot of the same defenses look the same but do different things out of them. So definitely just the movement-wise on the back end, on the front end, and just making sure he doesn't know just exactly where to go and give him just such an easy play. Each and every down is going to be huge.
I'm kind of glad you ran down that roster of your teammates. And you mentioned LJ, L'Jarius Sneed. We've talked on this show all season long how there might not be an outside corner who's had a better season than him. What has been so effective and impactful for him? Why can he lock up a Stephon Diggs or another team's best receiver? What has worked so well as to where he's really, really climbed the ladder this season?
Yeah, I think that dude is probably top 2, if 2, best cornerbacks in the league. When you look at somebody who each and every week literally goes out there, guards the number 1 receiver, all plays, all downs, doesn't complain, doesn't be like, oh, I need help over the top, is just a dog out there. And And I feel like it all goes back to what he does off the field. I mean, he comes in each and every day, practices hard, watches film, constantly asking questions. I mean, we talk all the time about what receivers are going to do, splits and stuff like that. So just the knowledge of the game that he has, and also just the confidence. I mean, when you're a guy like that who has to go out on the island and cover the best receivers day in and day out, the confidence got to be at a high. And he's one of those guys that is able to have that confidence and also just making sure he does his job well. And he's able to use his help and understands the defense. And I know for us on the back end, we love when we can just look out, know LJ's out there and be like, okay, that's going to counsel out a guy. Let's focus on these guys over here.
I got to bring this up. We got to look. We're looking forward in the division round, but I got to look back real quick. When you guys were in the film room and you watch him jam Tyreek Hill at the line of scrimmage on that one play, what was the reaction in the film room when everybody got a chance to see that play together?
I mean, you already know. Guys were hooting and hollering. The energy was high, and I got to say, this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time we've seen LJ do this. I mean, you go back game in and game out. I think he literally has done this every single game against these big-time receivers. So I think it just goes back to the skill set he has and just the ability to, like I said, play the DB position so well, locked in, and it just technique-wise is just one of the best out there, I think, right now.
Yeah, even Tyreek had to give praise because he was just like, yeah, he jammed my you-know-what all the way to Cancun. Hey, but, defensively, we're talking so much about your defense. What about the change in identity of this team? Because we've always known the Chiefs to be this great offensive team, but now we're like, this is a lockdown defense. What about that identity change and how much you guys kind of walk around like, yeah, we're him, so to speak?
Yeah, I think it just goes back to our offseason and Coach Spags coming in and being like, we know we won the Super Bowl, but our play in the Super Bowl and how many points we gave up, everybody was like, that wasn't our best showing. So all offseason, training camp, I mean, throughout this whole year, Coach Spags has been on us about being consistent, about being relentless, about trusting each other. And I felt like just the communication, just the overall chemistry out there on the field is just huge. I mean, guys trust each other. Guys know where we're going to be. That non-communication that we can just look out and know what each other are doing, I feel like has been so huge for us this year. And I keep saying we're a defense that knows what our offense can do. I mean, we got Patrick Mahomes on the other side, Trav. I mean, our offense is explosive. And so being able to go out there, get down on third down, stop them on fourth downs, give the offense the ball in good field positions. I mean, everything we can do to help this offense go put points on the board has been a big thing for us. And I'm just happy that everybody around here continues to just keep working. There's never a game where we're like, we can be relaxed. We go in each and every week knowing that it's going to be a game. And everybody around here trusts each other and goes out and does their job very well.
Trent, I'm curious to take us back to training camp. When you're seeing Rashid Rice for the very first time and you're going against him in camp where Andy runs just such a grueling camp up there at St. Joe. Like, did you see what's happening now back in camp going, he has the ability, if he develops something with Patrick, to be something? What did you see from Rashid in the very beginning?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you look back at training camp, I know we battled for sure multiple times during training camp, and he definitely caught a few passes that I was like, whoa, those aren't easy catches to make. And he was doing it right out the gate. And he's one of those dudes that, like I said, this team has a lot of guys that just going out here and just working. They ain't got to say much. They ain't got to come up with excuses. They just put their head down and work. And he's one of those guys. And I'm really proud to see just the progress that he's made, because rookie year, I mean, I know last year it can be tough, especially Andy Reid's offense. You got to learn a lot of things, play different positions. And, man, he comes in, week out, and is consistent. And I feel like that's my favorite thing about this dude. It's just his consistency on the field has been huge. And now he's making big plays for us, which you got to love.
Well, Trent, we got to wrap up. I'd love to have this conversation all day, but look, we know you're going from one ice box last week in Kansas City to another in Buffalo. Want to wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for joining us here on the NFL Report.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thanks so much. Well, coming up next, the hottest team and the hottest quarterback, the Houston Texans against the Ravens. His playoff history, not so great. Rudy Batista joins us next on the NFL Report.